everyone, and good evening. Thank you for braving the rain to come here, and thank you for braving the cold as well. So, for those of you who haven't met me already, I am JC Sue, and I'm an ACOM alum from the class of 2019. Just going to tell you a little bit about myself. So, I tried to come up with a good name for this event, just called it Medical Knowledge Tune-Up, because of course we're going to be listening to songs here about medical concepts. So for those of you studying for COMLEX or USMLE, hopefully this will help you all review a little bit. If you're studying for a test, hopefully some of this material will also be relevant. I honestly took a bit of a gamble there in remembering the order of the systems courses from when I was a student here. And luckily, it turns out that it's exactly the same. So I guessed right. So here's a little bit about me. I'm originally from Mountain View, California, Silicon Valley for all you guys who love tech or have just heard about the area. And my official specialty is family medicine, which is great because, I never get bored because I see a little bit of everything. And unofficially, I have called myself a medical musicologist because for years, I have been turning medical concepts into songs, including during most of my time at ACOM. So, of course, I went here, like I told you, and then I did my residency at Eisenhower Army Medical Center, which is near Augusta, Georgia. And my medical songwriting experience began in about August 2015. It was actually pretty early on in my first year here. And honestly, it was actually a happy accident. I just, for some miraculous reason, had some extra free time when I was done studying for the day. So just for fun, I wrote a parody of Meghan Trainor's All About That Bass, using the material for acid loaders and acid extruders. I don't know if that rings a bell at all for any of you, especially for your first years. And then when I was taking the test, I found myself just singing the lyrics to myself, and I got the right answers because of that. Now, as you can see, I have many hobbies and interests. Actually, one of my hobbies, of course, as you see there, is discovering new interests. So over the years, I just keep accumulating more and more, but I never want to give any of them up. So every so often, at least, I circle back to ones that I haven't come back to for a while. And I like lots of performing arts, but I also like being physically active. I like both indoor and outdoor activities, both physical activities and also intellectual activities. So now we come to our first song here. Now, I will tell you that I have found that music is actually particularly useful for studying pharmacology. Great thing about it is that, well, it helps you to sort through the drugs and also remember the information, because every time you sing a song, you sing it the same way every time. Therefore, if you remember the lyrics and the tune, you will not get the concepts wrong. Because otherwise, trying to learn pharmacology is like someone gave you a bunch of balls that look very similar to each other and said, okay, you go juggle them now. Have fun. So, it can be very challenging to keep track of them. Woo! But we are going to use music to help make this a little easier for you guys. I'm just going to make sure the sound level is appropriate here for this particular song. Some of these are balanced a little differently. So this first song is called Anti-50S Antibiotic Reg. It's about the anti-50S antibiotics, which for you first years, you probably remember from toward the end of your first semester. Second years, it's a little more distant for you, but definitely material you're going to have to know for the COMLEX and or the USMLE. Nice thing about ragtime music is that it has distinctive sections, which all have different melodies, so I figured out that you can actually use those to pack information about multiple drugs into one song. So, here we go. Macrolides kill gram-positive cocci. B. pertussis and chlamydia, they may die. Atypical pneumonia caused by mycoplasma, Legionella and chlamydia, they may die. Adverse effects include prolonged QT, P450 hindrance, skin rash, GI stuff, eosinophilia, and cholestatic hepatitis. Macrolides kill gram-positive cocci. B. pertussis and chlamydia, they make die. Atypical pneumonia caused by mycoplasma, legionella and chlamydia, they make die. Adverse effects include prolonged QT, P450 hindrance, a skin rash, GI stuff, eosinophilia, and cholestatic hepatitis. Clindamycin, stop bacterial growth of staphylococci and neurose, strep viridans, group A strep maladies, and strep pneumoniae and pyogenes. Adverse effects include diarrhea, fever, and C. difficile, risk of colitis is C. with C. difficile. It's called pseudomembranous and makes you ill. Clindamycin stops bacterial growth of staphylococci and neurose, strep viridans, group A strep maladies, and strep pneumoniae and pyogenes. Adverse effects include diarrhea, fever, and C. difficile, risk of colitis is C. with C. difficile. It's called pseudomembranous and makes you ill. Macrolides kill gram-positive cocci. B. pertussis and chlamydia, they make die. Atypical pneumonia caused by mycoplasma, legionella and chlamydia, they make die. Adverse effects include prolonged QT, P450 hindrance, a skin rash, GI stuff, eosinophilia, and cholestatic hepatitis. Linezolid treats resistant Gram plus things like MRSA and VRE. It can cause serotonin syndrome, GI stuff, and myelosuppression. Streptogramins treat infections of the skin from group A strep and staph aureus. They treat VRE when they're together, bactericidal, their label is. Linezolid treats resistant Gram plus things like MRSA and VRE. It can cause serotonin syndrome, GI stuff, and myelosuppression. Streptogramins treat infections of the skin from group A strep and staph aureus. They treat VRE when they're together, bactericidal, their label is. Chloramphenicol bacteriostatics called Rocky Mountain spotted fever in slaves. It treats meningitis from and meningitis, strep pneumoniae, and influenzae. Adversely, it can make babies that look so great, lacking the liver UDPG transferase. Aplastic anemia, it's known to cause, but despite these side effects, it is known as quite great. Chloramphenicol bacteriostatics called Rocky Mountain spotted fever in slaves. It treats meningitis from and meningitis, strep pneumoniae, and influenzae. Adversely, it can make babies that look so great, lacking a liver UDPG transferase. Aplastic anemia, it's known to cause, but despite these side effects, it is known as quite great. Oh, glad you all enjoyed that one. So yeah, crammed a whole bunch of antibiotics into one, and look at that, we actually reviewed all those 50S antibiotics in less than 5 minutes. Yeah, this is great, right? You know, think of how much study you could study with this way in an hour. This is what I love most about studying music, and it also meant that I could study while I was driving or doing something else, so I didn't even necessarily have to just be studying. So, now we come to the topic of biochemistry. You know, how many of you actually like biochemistry? Nobody? Okay, you a little bit? Okay, you're weird. I'm just kidding. I guess I liked it a little too, but admittedly I honestly found having to memorize so many pathways kind of annoying, so I made it more fun for myself. Hey, come on in, welcome, thank you for coming. So the next song is Glycolysis Swing. So we are going to learn about glycolysis in a very jazzed up way. And the song was actually inspired by a jazz trio I heard perform when I was in New York this past summer. So I found their music very catchy, and I thought, well, maybe I could take some inspiration from that and create my own music using some of their sorts of sound. And by the way, I forgot to introduce my support squad here earlier. Please feel free to come say hi to them after. You know, highly recommend having stuffed animals or something else you really love with you. Definitely it's good for your mental well-being. So the style of this song, totally different. Hope you all enjoy it. Glycolysis gives you pyruvate and ATP and NADH. Glucose with hexokinase does glucose 6-phosphate making. Then phosphohexose isomerase comes and makes that fructose 6-phosphate. PFK1 makes fructose 1,6-bisphosphate. It's rate limiting. Then comes glyceraldehyde 3-B aldolase, makes this thing seen. Glucose becomes G6P, then F6P, then fructose 1,6-bisphosphates. What you see? Glyceraldehyde 3-phosphates, the next thing made. Then there's 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate. The next thing is called 3-phosphoglycerate. Into 2-phosphoglycerate, it does mutate. Then there's PEP, then finally pyruvate. Learning this will make your knowledge great. Glyceraldehyde phosphate dehydrogenase makes 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate. Methylglycerate then forms with phosphoglycerate kinase. Phosphoglycerate mutates then tries to make 2-phosphoglycerate arise. Enolase assembles PEP. Pyruvate comes with its kinase. ATP and alanine are known to stop pyruvate kinase. Glucose becomes G6P, then F6P, then fructose 1,6-bisphosphates. What you see? Glyceraldehyde 3-phosphates, the next thing made. Then there's 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate. The next thing is called 3-phosphoglycerate. Into 2-phosphoglycerate, it does mutate. Then there's PEP, then finally pyruvate. Learning this will make your knowledge great. Pyruvate kinase deficiency, autosomal recessive is, and AKATPases don't work. Red blood cells swell and show lysis. 2,3-B PG accumulates, HbA02 affinity falls. Unlike the G6PD deficiency, Heinz bodies aren't there at all. ATP and citrate stop PFK1. AMP ups the work, it gets done. Fructose 2,6-bisphosphate ups its work too. It's made by PFK2. Insulin makes glucokinase act nothing directly. Its work attacks G6P, hinders hexokinase, fasting downs PFK2. Fructose 1,6-bisphosphate wakes the kinase for pyruvate. Now learn this too. Glucose becomes G6P, then F6P, then fructose 1,6-bisphosphates. What you see? Glyceraldehyde 3-phosphates, the next thing made. Then there's 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate. The next thing is called 3-phosphoglycerate. Into 2-phosphoglycerate, it does mutate. Then there's PEP, then finally pyruvate. Learning this will make your knowledge great. Awesome. Thank you. Glad you enjoyed that one. That one was definitely fun to write. It was after I discovered how to actually make music swung instead of straight time on my music software. Alright, so question for you guys. How many of you guys are first years? Okay, and I'm guessing the remaining crowd here is either second years or something else. Okay, great. So first years, I know you are taking neuro right now. So I'm just wondering, how far, like, what kind of stuff you studied so far in it?
I just remember Parker's lecture from yesterday.
Oh, about what?
Adrenergic and that type of stuff.
Oh, okay. Oh, adrenergic drugs, anti-adrenergic drugs. Okay, yes. But yeah, someone there said anatomy as well, so just general structures of the brain. Okay, well this next one is especially for you guys because it is actually about neuroanatomy, just specifically cerebellar and cerebral cortex anatomy. So before we get to that, funny story to share with you. The picture on your right there is a real UPS notice I got by email. I am not kidding. It really said, returning customers repaired brain. So what happened was someone actually got creative with trying to abbreviate brain box, which is an electronic part for the vehicle in the picture on your left, which is an ELF. It stands for electric, light, and fun. It's a recumbent tricycle with an electric assist, so you can pedal, you can use the electric assist, you can do both at the same time, which I usually do to make it most efficient. And they returned this to me, and thankfully, yes, I did get the ELF working again. And I tell you that when I rode this vehicle around Dothan, because I honestly lived without a car by choice for about the first couple of years I was here, I think a lot of people actually knew me without actually knowing my name. It was very interesting too. Most people would just slow down on the road and stare at me. So anyway, you know, since they returned my repaired brain, that explains a lot about me, right? So that was partly the inspiration for this song, I Got a New Brain. The other part of the inspiration for that actually came from my radiology preceptor. Who I did radiology as an elective during my 4th year. And actually, the guy's named Dr. Tomberlin. He actually works in Geneva. So if you get a chance to rotate with him, I will guarantee that you will be both educated and entertained. Because the inspiration here came from the fact that he jokingly tried to convince me that the hospital there used to do brain transplants. Can you imagine if we actually did that to people for real? Oh boy, people would be totally different people once they got out of the OR. So that's the context for this song, and you can just imagine how this will play out here. I think you'll enjoy the song, and hopefully you'll be entertained by it. One day my brain did not work so great. My front hypothalamus, heat didn't dissipate. The back part didn't sympathetically keep heat. The lateral part didn't make me eat. The lateromedial nucleus didn't make me full. The suprachiasmatic one made no sleep-wake cycles. Oxytocin and vasopressin making were null, cause the supraoptic and paraventricular parts were dulled. I went to my doctor and he said, you need a new brain or you're as good as dead. I got a new brain, my cerebellum gives coordination from toes to cranium. My Broca area now allows me to talk. With the part in front of my central sulcus I walk. My post-central gyrus can get sensations. Wernicke's area translates conversations. My MCA makes blood go lateral and to the back of my internal capsule. My ACA goes between my cerebral hemispheres and at the front of my internal capsule appears. My PCA to my occipital lobes adheres. I had ataxia of my trunk, with wide unsteady gait, cause my vermis was junk. My flocculo-nodular lobes didn't work well, so my eye movements didn't look so swell. Cerebellar hemisphere lesions I also had. Ipsilateral ataxia hindered me a tad. Motor planning from lateral hemispheres was null. Intermediate ones gave no appendicular control. I went to my doctor and he said, "You need a new brain or you're as good as dead." I got a new brain, my cerebellum gives coordination from toes to cranium. My Broca area now allows me to talk. With the part in front of my central sulcus I walk. My post-central gyrus can't get sensations. Wernicke's area translates conversations. The rear of my brain allows me to see. My frontal lobe gives movement, judgment, and speech. My parietal lobe word comprehension and touch gives. My temporal lobe ensures that sound in my brain lives. I have prefrontal order, restraint, and initiative. My cerebellar nuclei meet Purkinje cells. The dentate one makes lateral synapses so well. Signals go to the VL contralateral and influence the system called corticospinal. The evoliform and logos nuclei are known to meet intermediate synapses and move toward my feet. Signals go to the VL contralateral and influence the lateral tract called corticospinal. My vestigial nucleus meets my vermis influencing medial motor feats. My pontocerebellar and climbing fibers go through my middle cerebellar peduncle. My spinocerebellar and climbing fibers lead through my inferior cerebellar peduncle indeed. My vestibular inputs go through that structure too, via the juxtarestiform body. All of this is true. After surgery, my doctor said, "You have a new brain, so you will not be dead." I got a new brain, my cerebellum gives coordination from toes to cranium. My Broca area now allows me to talk. With the part in front of my central sulcus I walk. My post-central gyrus can get sensations. Wernicke's area translates conversations. My MCA makes one go lateral and to the back of my internal capsule. My ACA goes between my cerebral hemispheres and at the front of my internal capsule appears. My PCA to my occipital lobes adheres. Thank you so much. Hope that helps you review your neuroanatomy before you test. Alright, so now we'll take a short break from the music to give you a few minutes to ask me whatever questions you wish, because I'm sure medical music is not something you see or hear every day, so I'm going to guess that at least a few of you have questions about it or anything else for me. So ask away, if you have any.
So I got a question. Were you doing any music or anything before you came to ACOM?
Yes. So this is just for the video recording. The question was whether I was doing music before I came to ACOM, and the answer is definitely yes. So background there is that both of my parents are musical, my dad especially, because he's also a composer. He plays multiple instruments, even more instruments than I do. And he and my stepmom actually ring handbells for gigs sometimes. English handbells are very interesting instruments. So when I was about 4, my parents got me started on piano lessons. And very shortly after, I also decided I wanted to play the violin, so I took private lessons for both instruments. Later on, I learned the clarinet, handbells, I learned how to play the bass, I learned how to sing along the way. Yeah, I picked up a bunch of instruments, so I've always enjoyed music, so yeah, it's been a major part of my life for a long time. Yes?
Just out of curiosity, how long did it take for you to like compose one song for like?
How long I took to compose one song? Well, the answer to that question is actually not completely straightforward. It's more like a range. Like some songs come together pretty quickly in maybe a number of days. Others of them, especially if they have more instrumental parts, take more time. So some of my songs have actually been written over the course of months. Now keep in mind here, some of these songs that I have, not necessarily the majority of these today, but some other ones I have, I was writing while I was still in residency, which of course you might already know has crazy hours a lot of the time. So what I did was I made a habit of just writing at least one note or one word every day, and that's a habit that thankfully stuck with me. So some of these came together very slowly, but others of them came together very quickly. There was even a time a bit over a year ago where I set and even for the most part met a goal of writing, not necessarily recording, but writing 2 new songs a month. This was after residency, so I had a little more time. But yeah, I hope that answered your question there.
Have you tried hip hop?
Hip hop, huh? I'm trying to think.
The lyrics kind of would like be very, I feel it would suit the music.
Oh, I think hip hop is the music.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could. I can't say that I've necessarily tried hip hop explicitly, but yeah, it's definitely a thought for the future. Yes.
How many songs have you written?
How many songs have I written?
Medical music.
Ah, okay, yeah, for medical songs, yes. Well, so I guess I'll give you the answer in 2 different parts here because I actually started as a parody artist, just on my own, writing. When I was at ACOM, I was using other people's tunes to write songs, so I just put lyrics to those tunes. If you count those plus all the originals I have, then that's probably pretty close to 100, I'm guessing. But as far as originals, it's maybe 30-something so far, but more are still in the works. So nice thing about this is I don't think I will ever run out of material to write songs about. Any other questions? I think we can still give a couple more minutes for Q&A. Yes?
What was your core site when you were in your 30s?
My core site. Yes. My core site honestly may as well be considered an antique place here now because it is no longer a core site. Yeah, so I did well, at least I was assigned my course rotations to be in Troy, Alabama, which is about halfway between here and Montgomery, in case you didn't already know. Now, the Troy Hospital is good for one-on-one learning because it's small and there are no residents to compete with there. Of course, one downside though is that you have a limited number of specialists because it's a small hospital, so I did have to go outside of Troy to do some of my rotations. Anyone else think of anything? Yes?
What's your favorite topic to write about for like medical science?
My favorite topic to write about in medical science? I think that's probably a tie between pharmacology and physiology. Probably mostly because I found that this sort of modality is very useful for those topics, partly because there are limited resources for them anyway, but also because it just, for me, makes those topics so much more palatable and so much easier to remember details. Yeah, so I like that, and it's also because I can also get creative and put some drama into it by, if it's about a drug, then maybe I can essentially turn it into a love song. It's like, yes, I really want this, I love you, drug, please come be with me. Yeah, or something like that. I mean, microbiology is actually fun too, or other disease states, because then you can also turn those into hate songs. It's fun. Okay, I think we probably have maybe about 1 more minute, then we go back to the middle music. Yes?
Do you have or have you considered having a YouTube channel where you post the songs?
Have I considered having a YouTube channel? Actually, I already have one.
Okay.
Yep, I have one. Still figuring out the exact use I'll have for it now, because I mean, what I didn't mention already is that these songs are actually here as a result of me starting an online study resource called TuneRx. Maybe some of you have heard of it. It's not fully out yet, not fully marketed, because I'm still beta testing it. If you might think you might be interested, it's totally, there's no financial cost to you if you want to beta test it. And it just helps work out the kinks before I fully market it. I do have some flyers up here. If you want to come see me after, certainly you can do that. And you can tell your friends too, anyone who might be interested. But anyway, where I was going with that was, so the YouTube channel has pretty much all of my old songs, and some of my newer original ones too. Some of those, but a lot of the newer ones I've also put just on the TuneRx site, so that way people don't try to steal my stuff or something like that for the stuff that's going to be for the business itself. But yeah, I think that the recording from today's event will be going on YouTube, just as long as I get the upload worked out with the size of it and whatnot. And you'll also see, well, as we get closer to the end of the music part of this event, another idea I have for the YouTube channel, which is making music videos for selected songs. So yeah, one of the songs is a music video. It has clips from the music video I made for it, so you'll get to see that as well. All right. If you have further questions, please feel free to ask during the meet and greet portion, which will follow the music. And I think now we shall go on to the next song here. But before we do, I have another humorous introduction for it. So, second years, you are studying endocrine right now, if I'm not mistaken. Have you talked about diabetes drugs yet?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay, yes, there are lots of them, aren't there? They all do different things, and just like with those antibiotics we talked about, oh my goodness, they're so confusing. And some of them have similar mechanisms of action and whatnot. And of course, for whatever reason, pharmacologists don't often make sense when they name things. I have joked that maybe they just do that to confuse students. Don't you think so? So, our next topic is diabetes drugs minus insulin. We're just talking about the outpatient setting here, because outpatient diabetes management is definitely way more complicated than inpatient diabetes management. And you'll get an example here of do as I say, not as I do. You see the guy on the right there? He obeyed his silly Uncle Steve, who said to him, "Eat that big malasada, fat boy." Fat boy's his nickname for me, inside joke you can ask me about later. He calls me Dr. Fat Boy now. You can trust all this information, because my shirt. Yeah, trust me, I'm a doctor. So yeah, if you haven't had malasadas before, though, highly recommend them. They are so good. They're so bad for you, but they're so good, so enjoy one once in a while. You might have to go to Hawaii to find them, but they're good. Yep, they're Portuguese donuts, for those of you who didn't already know. But whatever you do, I would not recommend making a habit of eating stuff like that, because you might end up like the guy on your left there. He gained so much weight he broke the bench. If you want to see that bench, you can see it if you go to Seoul Tower in South Korea. Now, one more quick funny story before we get to the song, because this relates to it as well, is that when I actually did a medical school away rotation, actually it was an audition rotation in Hawaii, and I was a fourth year by this point, and it was so funny that one of the residents I met there, when he first met me, asked me, "Oh, do you have a southern accent?" I'm from California, so of course I didn't grow up with a southern accent. I mean, I don't know, what did I say to him? Something like, "Hey y'all, nice to meet y'all. Y'all know where I can find some sweet tea, because I'm fixing to get some. It's been a minute since I had some, Maybe I did say that and I just don't remember. I don't know.
So you start asking for boiled peanuts and they look at you like you're crazy. What are boiled peanuts?
Oh, boiled peanuts, just a southern thing, They're a delicacy in the South. But yes, this is real sweet tea here. This is not the unsweet stuff. This is the good stuff. You'll see this come up later. So we shall now review the major classes of outpatient diabetes drugs in less than 6 minutes. Okay, here we go. doctor gave to me metformin to treat. That was not sufficient, so I got other drugs according to comorbidities. My ASC score was so increased, I put aspirin in me prophylactically. My doctor made sure that I got the good pneumococcus shots. He said cut back on carbs and make your weight decrease. My hepatic gluconeogenesis decreased when I took metformin. It caused no weight gain or sugar lows, but could cause lactic acid increases. I drank gallons of sweet tea to quench my thirst, then took SGLT2 inhibitors. I lost water and got UTIs. These drugs' names ended in the plosive. I drank too much sweet tea, got diabetes. My doctor gave to me metformin to treat. That was not sufficient, so I got other drugs according to comorbidities. My ASC score was so increased, I put aspirin in me prophylactically. I took some pramlintide, which made gastric emptying delayed. I got low glucose and the glucagon decrease. I took glitazones, which bound to my PPARs, upping insulin receptors. Weight gain, edema, and liver toxicity and heart damage I endured. I ate hush puppies and drank sweet alcohols. I then took some acarbose and miglitol. They stopped alpha glucosidases. No hypoglycemia occurred. All year I gorged on pies. My glucose went high. My doctor said to try some maglitinides. They bound K+ channels, increasing insulin, but I got fat and my glucose dropped. I tried tolbutamide, some chlorpropamide, glyuride, glimepizide, and glimepiride. Disulfiram symptoms I got with chlorpropamide a lot. I gained weight and low sugar, these K channels blocked. I told my doctor I do not want to take medications. He said cut back on sweet tea, fried chicken, banana pudding, and potatoes. Then I said those are all my favorites. I ain't cutting back any of those. I took gliptins with binder DPP for GLP-1 degraded less. They could have caused joint pain or worsened heart failure. With my weight they did not mess. One day GLP-1 agonists I tried. Glucagon went low while insulin went high. I lost weight, but these could have caused runs, vomiting, or pancreatitis. All year I gorged on pies. My glucose went high. My doctor said to try some maglitinides. They bound K+ channels, increasing insulin, but I got fat and my glucose dropped. I tried tolbutamide, some chlorpropamide, glyuride, glimepizide, and glimepiride. Disulfiram symptoms I got with chlorpropamide a lot. I gained weight and low sugar, these K channels blocked. I drank too much sweet tea, got diabetes. My doctor gave to me metformin to treat. That was not sufficient, so I got other drugs according to comorbidities. comorbidities. My ASCVD score was so increased, I put aspirin in me prophylactically. My doctor made sure that I got the good pneumococcus shots. He said cut back on carbs and make your weight decrease.
You should have been here yesterday.
Oh, what happened here
We
yesterday?
had a quiz today.
Oh, too bad, one day too late. Okay, you should have told the professor to change the schedule ahead of time. Oh well, that's okay. Hopefully you all passed. Oh yeah. All right, so the next two songs, which are actually the final two in the planned set. There's the option for one more after, but we'll get to that later. These next two are Christmas-related songs. So I thought I'd throw these in because, you know, holidays just passed. I'm not ready for them to end. And my family celebrates Christmas, so yeah. So I brought this with me, you know. I'll just find a place to hang it up here. Yeah, there we go. That's better. More festive in here now. And you know, maybe, just maybe, if I've been really good, Santa will come and give me some more presents. So, this next song is actually going to be a sing-along. I think you all know that tune, right? Jingle Bells? Yeah. So, now we're going to sing about C. diff, Clostridium difficile, this evil, ugly bacteria that causes some really stinky diarrhea, you know? We're going to review the diagnosis and treatment of the colitis caused by this bacterium in less than 3 minutes. So, sing along if you wish, because I think most, if not all of you, probably know this tune. C. diff smells, it gives me the runs. Vancomycin I'll swallow, so its life will soon be done. C. diff smells, it gives me the runs. Fidaxomycin I'll take, so its life will soon be done. Antibiotics have led to C. diff in me. Labs show GDH and toxins A and B, and AAT could have come from the diagnosis. I could get ileus acidosis or bad colitis. Oh, C. diff smells, it gives me the runs. Vancomycin I'll swallow, so its life will soon be done. C. diff smells, it gives me the runs. Fidaxomycin I'll take, so its life will soon be done. Megacolon that is known as toxic could come. Vancomycin pushed through an IV is done. Metronidazole is an alternative I'll get if the pharmacy has not ordered the first line treatments yet. Oh, C. diff smells, it gives me the runs. Vancomycin I'll swallow, so its life will soon be done. C. diff smells, it gives me the runs. Fidaxomycin I'll take, so its life will soon be done. If recurrence comes, within 6 months I will get Bezlotoxumab, that is something I'll bet. Sepsis, organ failure, and acute abdomen stuff would lead me to get surgery. Drugs wouldn't be enough. Sing along! C. diff smells, it gives me the runs. Vancomycin I'll swallow, so its life will soon be done. C. diff smells, it gives me the runs. Fidaxomycin I'll take, so its life will soon be done. If all else fails, I might get fecal transplantation done. Hey, thank you think of the same things when you hear that Christmas carol next year. So now we have another pharmacology song coming up. And this is the, like I said, last one in the official set. But there is the option for one more, which we will talk about after this song, if we wish to do that. So this song coming up is called I Want to See the Zolamite for Christmas. And I thought of it because, you know, how many of you like practical gifts? Do any of you like practical gifts? Okay, a bunch of you do. Okay, I do too. And the thing about it is, well, second years you may already remember when you took cardio that acetazolamide, or Diamox is the brand name, may be useful for preventing altitude sickness, which of course is useful if you know you are going to be going to a high elevation area. Or if you decide to join the military and you go up in planes or whatnot, yeah, that could be useful for that too. So this is the one that I mentioned earlier that has music video clips. So you will see some other arts that are showcased here besides singing. You know, would have loved to do them for you in person, but you know, we got limited space and whatnot, and we got to work with what we got. So here we go. I want to see Zolamite for Christmas, 'cause I'm gonna take a vacation to the Colorado mountains. I might get sick at elevation. I'll also save this for cerebral swelling, acute angle closure, glaucoma, idiopathic cranial pressure, and metabolic pH gone up. I'm sure on one of the high altitude days I'll need to stop my car, but again my brace in proximal tubules. This drug will abate reuptake of the thing called bicarbonate. It will get rid of an A and K and the retention of an H4 and H. I'll watch for metabolic acidosis, elevated uric acid drowsiness, locate paresthesias and stones in my pee. On Christmas Day I hope this drug's here for me. It will get rid of an A and K and the retention of an H4 and H. I want to see Zolamite for Christmas, 'cause I'm gonna take a vacation to the Colorado mountains. I might get sick at elevation. I'll also save this for cerebral swelling, acute angle closure, glaucoma, idiopathic cranial pressure, and metabolic pH gone up. I want to see Zolamite for Christmas, 'cause I'm gonna take a vacation to the Colorado mountains. I might get sick at elevation. I'll also save this for cerebral swelling, acute angle closure, glaucoma, idiopathic cranial pressure, and metabolic pH gone up. All enjoyed that. That video was definitely fun to make, and interesting backstory there. I was temporarily away for work in New York, Albany, New York specifically. So the first part where you saw me doing ballet was actually filmed in the hallway of the first floor of the hotel I was staying at. That's probably why you saw the exit sign there. I think that was in there. And the other part, actually there was another part. The part with me on the couch was also in the hotel room, and the part where I'm on the lyra, the hoop, was actually at an aerial dance and yoga studio that happened to be local. So yeah, lots of fun stuff there. So now comes the question, if you all want to sit for a few more minutes, do you want to hear one more song? Okay.
Encore!
Encore, okay. Okay, if we're going to do an encore, we must have you answer a board-style question first. So, you want to boost your mood and decide to listen to some music. A crazy man claiming to be a doctor, I wonder who that could be, offers to perform a song for you and gives you some options to choose from. So, because we know that dopamine makes you feel better, which of the following will give you the best boost of dopamine? Now, I will tell you that knowledge of the right answer will only be internal, so if you pick the wrong one, I will not know, but you guys will definitely know. So, you guys can choose from amongst yourselves. How about if you come together, come to a consensus, and have a spokesperson tell me the answer? What is it? C?
C.
Oh, that one, yes. I took ACE inhibitors. Oh, yes, that's a good one for cardio and renal. Yeah, first years, you're going to have to know this soon enough. All right, hang on here. I just need to pull up a different file. I'll be with you momentarily here. Oh, and before we pull that up, one more backstory behind this one is that this one actually stemmed from my interest in playing my violin with ukulele groups. It's just something that happened when I was in college, where there was a guy from my home church who knew about this ukulele group in Santa Cruz, California, called Sons of the Beach. They met every Saturday morning on the beach, and they played ukuleles, you know, singing a lot of popular tunes from 60s, 80s, all sorts of stuff. So I brought my violin one day, and the rest is history from there. I took ACE inhibitors as a high blood pressure cure. I took ACE inhibitors to heart failure, death avert. During my MI they made heart remodeling delayed. Laid out protein in my pee and helped my diabetic kidneys. Their names all ended in krill, angiotensin II they decreased. They increased bradykinin and caused a renin increase. Aldosterone they did slow, they made my GFR low. Efferent arterial constriction they did oppose. I took ACE inhibitors as a high blood pressure cure. I took ACE inhibitors to heart failure, death avert. During my MI they made heart remodeling delayed. Laid out protein in my pee and helped my diabetic kidneys. I could have gotten a cough, IK metabolic low pH. I could have had high creatinine or had low NA. I avoided pregnancy, fetal bad kidneys I'd see. Bradykinin could cause swollen face, throat, and guts in me. My doctor made sure I did not have C1INH low or bilateral renal arteries known to be stenosed. I took ACE inhibitors as a high blood pressure cure. I took ACE inhibitors to heart failure, death avert. During my MI they made heart remodeling delayed. Laid out protein in my pee and helped my diabetic kidneys. I took ACE inhibitors as a high blood pressure cure. I took ACE inhibitors to heart failure, death avert. During my MI they made heart remodeling delayed. They found protein in my pee and helped my diabetic kidneys. Thank you very much for coming to this event. It's been a pleasure having you all, so thank you for braving the cold, braving the rain, and I hope that you were able to review some content, but also have some fun. And like I said, if you are interested in helping beta test TuneRx, please come see me down here. I'll give you a flyer with a QR code. And just know that along with the songs, if you beta test it, you also have companion brief slideshow lectures. It's kind of like Pathoma, except with songs added. So yeah, thank you so much. We'll move to the meet and greet portion now.